After tonight in the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series, the first 12 races and the first dozen will be done, but we're still looking forward to a lot of fun. Joliet Chicagoland Speedway is the host for the B3 Designs 200, and as it stands, we have 15 minutes until the grid will be decided. Right now, Eric Heater, we're following with just a bit of a blink as Brian Russo of B3 Designs is currently second man on the board. He's only second to his teammate in Davis Lewis at the moment. Top two is going to be the B3 Designs group, and then Vinny Tigner third with Eric Heater, position number 4. So we have 5 minutes remaining here in practice. I'll be your host for tonight's event. I am David Kreutz, and I thank y'all for stopping by as we get things kicked off here in Chicagoland. Another great race, 200 miles, 134 laps to get it done, and every driver getting themselves ready. Alec Daffin going to take to the track for the first time this time around, and Bryce Saucier with 1 lap on the board has not gone around since. 11 drivers have taken the time so far out of the about 16 we have registered in the session. You will see if any more choose to do so with such little time left. It looks like at the moment, Eric Heater, one of the quickest. Jordan Kuntz right now going to be in 5th as Kyle Jackson is in position number 6. And it looks like a lot of guys coming to take opportunities and advantages. Which race has gotten tighter with fewer drivers showing up race after race. For some drivers, that is a very good thing. Rick Spencer Walt returns in 97. Luke Peters is back on his way to number 4. And Jordan Parker, with 44 practice laps, is returning once again to get a better result than what he had last time we went racing at Iowa. Looking to get himself back in control in that number 65. Currently 8th on the board as is, as Bryce Saucier still on pit road, while Alec Daffin comes through 3 and 4. This time by to put down his first time lap here in Joliet. And as it comes across the line, this time by the number 48, going to go into position number, as it stands, 10 on the board. Not going to be much more than new. Rick Spencer Walt going to be right behind him. He's only 1,000th off of Luke Peters, and Peters has 5 timed laps as is. Top man is still Davis Lewis by 8 1,000ths of a second, but then it goes down to Brian Russo in second as he taps the wall just a bit as we get things going. Now, Chicagoland, an hour's worth of practice these drivers have gotten through already, and a lot of guys getting a lot of laps. The highest lap count overall, Eric Heater took 65 in practice for tonight's event, and some guys have taken as little as 1 lap at the moment. Bryce Saucier, the least of the group so far. A lot of these guys have taken it in excess of 20 laps, and a few have taken it in excess of 40. Russo going to come around this time by for his 50th lap on the board, and B3 back racing once again, the primary sponsor of this event, so you know he wants to be here and get it done for his own operation, be it Lewis or himself. The team is 1-2 and the fastest in this circuit so far. And with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in practice before qualifying gets on its way. 12 minutes before the grid will be decided. Jordan Parker going to be there in the 9th spot as Carter Casey is now in 8th. Casey going to be one of those guys who's shown up week after week. The field sizes might get smaller, but he's here to take advantage time after time, and the points race is shifting as a result. Now, standings at the moment are not up to date, so we do not have a current graphic to show you all, but drivers like Parker, Casey, and Alec Daffin are all creeping further and further up on the board, while some drivers who have victories have not been here all too much, and they're making it a bit of a more wild card type race in this championship fight. Michael Deitch, as is 12th and last of the drivers, have taken a time. He has 5 laps on the board. Haven't seen him out in quite a while. Zach McBride back on your timing screen, returning for the first time since the early portion of the season, and Bryce Saucier going to be there as well with Dylan Butler registered. Not taking a lap just yet. We'll see whether or not that number 010 machine chooses to run here tonight. Not sure just yet, but we're sure one thing. Brian Russo, Davis Lewis, they are quick. Eric Heater right now, he's in 4th, trying to make his car stick. And it's a matter of fact going to be all about the tires on the trucks holding down to the pavement, as we are expecting another long run race. Now, we went racing in Iowa. It was no cautions. It was a great show all the way around in the Alec Daffin 48 169. But tonight, 200 miles, things might get a little dicier, and we've seen some long races at Chicagoland as of recent. The Highline Racing League, 1 caution and 188 miles at the circuit, but tonight could be a bit different. As a Highline Racing League, they run the next gens with this machinery, and it looks like it's going to be the 28th machinery blinking out just a bit, and the next gens at Chicagoland drive much different. They're a bit quicker overall. Right now, Davis Lewis set down a 37, actually going to be a 31.279, 37, set most recently by guys like Saucier with an incomplete lap, but these guys right now a few tenths off the next gens and the Xfinity machines. Not as much power, but a lot of on-throttle time to make up for it. So the Ford machine knows that he'll have to push a little bit further. Right now, 5th on the board, trying to get right in front of Eric Heater. And as it stands, Luke Peters is actually only 2,000ths away from Vinny Tigner's best time here in practice. Tigner only 1,000th up on Eric Heater, and Eric Heater is, as we mentioned, 1,000th of a second up on that number 4 machine. And Peters back on the road. Kyle Jackson now going to be on the track. We've had now 13 drivers take a time, as Michael Rosero there as well. Now Jackson in that number 96, looking to get back up front. He's been a consistent top 10 driver with the past few weeks. We saw him at Watkins Glen, a fierce battle all race long. Came out on the short end of the stick outside the top 5, but right now he has some speed just within that top 10, and it could be enough to carry him to quite a strong result in this event, as it's going to be practice ending this time around, and it looks like Davis Lewis will be the fastest man in it. Not quite sure when the checkered flag will drop officially, but Alec Daffin due to cut the cord on practice at 8:10 Eastern, and with 9 minutes remaining here in practice, that is what he set out to do, as Brian Russo, second fastest man on the board, and as 8:10 is going to come up to all our clocks on the Eastern Seaboard, it will be Davis Lewis, the fastest man in practice. A big hit there with the driver of that number 3 machine, and he's able to save it quite nicely. Major hit and some major barrel rolling, as Eric Heater going to be back on his way. 49 laps of practice for Kyle Jackson, 51 for Jordan Parker. The highest mark is 73 out of Eric Heater, though. He's been going the longest in this session overall, trying to get some more information out of that truck and a competitive edge he might just get with that being said. Now it's going to be Carter Casey coming down to what it looks like the first turn on the circuit. Every driver waiting for practice to be stopped. Saucier has not come back on the track in quite a while. He's down on pit road, and it's now going to be 8:10 on the Eastern Seaboard indeed. So Alec Daffin, server admin for tonight, is going to be cutting the cord on practice. We'll get right on into our next session. That will be qualifying for 5 minutes and 2 laps. Lewis leads the way here in practice. Now let's get on to qualifying and see who can get that coveted pole position here in Joliet, Illinois. Every driver despawned from your screen, and you know what that means. It's time to get your grid here in Chicagoland. Qualifying is going to be underway in the B3 Designs 200, and now the track is empty. Let's get into it here right now. It's the number 3 machine of Brian Russo who leads us off. And as we can see, that number 3 machine is on the way. Let's ride on board here and see what we can analyze from the perspective of one of the fastest drivers in this event so far. Brian put the power down, gets up to about 130 miles an hour off pit exit. Nice to see. Not afraid of getting that speed in. Warm up the tire, going down the Brant back straightaway, stays up high this time, wants to roll that momentum in for the first hot lap. And as he comes out of the stripe, he will be the man who leads us through qualifying, getting underway, and the first of 2-time laps for Brian Russo signal it is time to put the hot laps in. Russo goes way up high. Let's hear the engine. And it appears he's actually flat-footing it right now, all the way on that high side, building his momentum for this lap. So every driver putting the power down. Jordan Parker going to be on the way. Alec Daffin on the move, as it's going to be the roar of the camera shaking on your screen. That's how many drivers are coming through the turns at the same time. Luke Peters now the next man who goes through 3 and 4, and Russo will be the first man to put down a timed lap. 31.773 for the man at number 3. Going to be Kyle Jackson in second, but now Bryce Saucier goes top spot. Going to be Jordan Kuntz all the way in the back of the pack, as Luke Peters now falls down into 7. It's going to be Saucier, then Daffin, then Brian Russo. But right now, Russo gaining big. He has 0.2 of a second up on his last lap on the board as it comes through 3 and 4 this time by. Can the number 3 machine get it done? He looks to be quicker than Alec Daffin. As Daffin comes by, he's 0.3 up and now 0.4 up. They both are. And as he comes through Alec Daffin with the same speed, it could be enough. And it looks like for Alec Daffin, it will be just enough to go third, 14,000 off of Polo Michael Rosero, and Eric Heater now going to be in fourth, with Luke Peters in fifth, and Bryce Saucier up to sixth. And it looks like a debutant in tonight's event. That's going to be Ryan B. Wilson, number 56 machine from Minnesota State University, entering this event, a last-second join into the league. Great to see some new faces as we get things going. It's going to be Ryan Wilson coming around for the first time in that number 56. Rick Spencer-Wald has not yet gone through in the Harley-Davidson 97, and Davis Lewis coming down through pit exit. Get on his way for a timed qualifying lap. Rosero has pole by 7/1000th of a second right now. It's not definite, but it looks like he got just enough to hold on the front of this field. Rick Spencer-Wald, as it stands, going to be there with Davis Lewis and Ryan Wilson. Every other driver has taken their full qualifying run, so the 16, the 56, and the 97 are what's left. That's going to be the first lap for Ryan Wilson. It'll put him 13th on the board here, and it looks like we will have a total of 15 drivers in tonight's event. 17 have joined, but it looks like not all will be racing with us here tonight. Wilson going to be done with his qualifying run, backs it down, puts it in the pit road. Spencer-Wald that time through will run a 32 flat. He's going to be in 14th, and Davis Lewis comes down the line this time by what he got in store. As he comes through 3 and 4, the number 16 might just be the quickest of the last three, and that is by a long shot. Or is he? No, he's not going to be. Ryan Wilson going to be faster that time, and Wilson now on pit road. Davis Lewis builds up his momentum. Now time to let it all rip as he comes down 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining here on the charts. He's going to be coming down the backstretch with a lot of force and a lot of speed. Let's ride on board. And as Davis Lewis comes out of the start-finish line to conclude his qualifying run, he's 3/10 quicker already. He's about 3/10 off a pole. So what's it going to be for the Davis Lewis machine? It looks like it will be 8th position, only 42,000 of a second off the top spot on the board. And how about that for the Davis Lewis machine? And how about that qualifying run? And it seems like for these guys, it's all over in qualifying, and we'll get your starting grid on your screen in just a moment. Every driver who is looking to race tonight has already put down a lap, and the rest of which will they have not. So let's get right into what your starting grid will be. Fisher Studios, thank you for stopping by, and we hope indeed that it will be a great race. To 65 of course, Jordan Parker working with Fisher Studios, the owner of that YouTube channel, and tonight looking to run it back and get a much stronger result. Let's get right into it. However, without further ado, this will be your starting grid for tonight's event, and this is the B3 Designs 200. Top man on the board going to be Michael Rosero in that number 41 machine with a 31.366, and then it's going to be Vinny Tigner, second on the board with 31.372. It's going to be third, Brian Russo in the B3 machine, 31.375, your main sponsor for tonight's event, and then Alec Daffin going to be in fourth with a 31.38. Position number 5 going to be Carter Casey inside row 3. It's going to be up 31.388, and then Jordan Coon's going to be in 6th, 31.392. Eric Heater puts the heat down, going to be 7th position on the qualifying charts in his Toyota Tundra. It's going to be at 31.395, right beside the Chevy Silverado. Now Davis Lewis going to be one of the B3 racing machines there in 8th position. Outside row number 4 going to be at 31.407, as Luke Peters going to be inside of row number 5, 9th position for his Ford F-150, 31.427. That's going to be Rick Spencer-Wald. He's right there as well. The 97 back after an incredible heroic effort with his tire strategy despite damage at Atlanta. Welcome back, Spencer-Wald. 31.436 on his return nights. And then it's going to be Bryce Saucier, the 07 machine, returning after quite a while away for Nicholas Pressy's team. And that's going to be a 31.464 beside Kyle Jackson and his Chevy Silverado, a 31.472. Jordan Parker for Fisher Studios has a number 13 spot locked up inside row number 7. That's going to be a 15th spot for a driver behind him, a 13th for him with a 31.6 flat. Then Michael Dyke's going to run a 31.641. That's going to be inside the top 15, good for 14th outside row number 7. For the number 44 Chevrolet Silverado. Then it's going to be Ryan Wilson, 31.701 for the new debut in this league, the 56 in his first call and asking. Comes in strong, and that's going to be the first time we've seen him on this channel. So Ryan Wilson looking to make a splash making his debut. SCRL Racing Redline trucks here. We have two racers who do not appear to be eligible for tonight's running, and that's going to be Dylan Butler, the 010 machine, 16th on the grid by default, and finally the number 82 machine we have not seen in quite a while. That was Sacrament Pride in the number 82 there on row number 9, and that will be your starting grid for tonight's event, the B3 Designs 200. And all that being said, they're battling here in a warm-up, everyone getting revved up for the racing. And right now, we're looking at Jordan Parker inside of the, of course, barrier of the track, but outside of the 07 machine, and they make contact, and now Parker goes down and in, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble, and it looks like he'll be able to save himself from the inside wall, at least for the most part, and drifts right up the track as we still have a few minutes until we get on our way to the grid. And time has run out for almost all of the practice before this race. We have a total of only 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, and now even less than that as we get the ticker up on your screen. Eric Heaton now going to be the top man on the board. Rick Spencer Walt is there in second, and Michael Rosero going to be in third at the moment. The top three separated by 1/10 of a second. Any final adjustments, they're made here, and they are made now, and you want to make sure that your truck is geared up for the long haul, especially as a driver who's going to know that 200 miles are ahead of them. In Chicagoland, that is no small task. And with the clean racing we've had as of recent in this league, as a matter of fact, I believe bar one pre-race yellow, we have gone caution-free in the last 2 straight races. Will they be able to run that back and get into a clean race once again? We'll find out in the end of 134 laps time, because so far we've been on the cleanest stretch of the season, beginning in the first lap of Watkins Glen, and now we head to Chicagoland, multiple races after, trying to see if we can keep it incident free. Rosero going to be on pit road in third, going to be Bryce Saucier in fourth, and Luke Peters going to be in fifth as Jordan Coots, powered by Nitro, pushes himself around the first 2 corners and then around the final 2. Get another lap in. This will be his 3rd lap completed in warm-up, and Brian Russo is right there with him, 7th on the charts. He's going to be able to complete his 3rd lap at the same time, and now Michael Deitch right there with him is an 8th spot, only 84 thousandths of a second back on the man inside that 7th. 10 drivers have taken a lap here in warm-up, 11 drivers on the track. Michael Deitch is one of them, and Alec Daffin is the last of which, and Ryan Wilson going to be there on pit road in 10th. He's ran 4 laps. Right now, Eric Heater, the fastest, has ran 7, as Rick Spencer Walt is only 77 thousandths of a second off the best time here in second practice. 20 seconds remain, though. Going to be less than a lap's distance for every one of these drivers. Average lap in this session, a 31.4. Jordan Coots right in the middle of it with a 31.432, 6th spot on the board, and Luke Peters has a 31.411 in 5th, so the average time really comes down to about a 31.422. Fastest man in practice, number 2, going to be Eric Heater in the Alpha Tauri, number 28, and he's going to be spinning it, burning it down just a bit early, and it could be a bit of practice for things to come. That remains to be seen as it's over in practice, and on to the grid we go. It's going to be the driver of that number 41, the top man on the board, pole position for Michael Rosero, as the remainder of the field you to follow just behind. And Rosero now on your screen, as you can see that number 41 going to be right behind on the inside line of your iRacing official pace car. And right now, 15th on back, we're missing a few drivers: Rick Spencer Walt, Carter Casey, Alec Daffin, Brian Russo, and Vinny Tigner. When they're on, we will be good to go with the show, and we'll drive it on out from there. As see the inside line, it is occupied entirely, but we're missing Davis Lewis, Alec Daffin now, and there we'll be good to go, and we'll be good to grab a gear. 134 laps here in the B3 Designs 200. Rosero getting right there with Vinny as we get going once again. The gears will be grabbed, as you can see the top 2 drivers right on the start finish line, and they begin moving here and now. Rosero gets the first jump, then they go from there. And it appears that 15 of the 17 drivers registered are in this parade. A lap, good attendance overall, one better than what we had in Iowa. So great to see. We have gotten a few more drivers in tonight as an entry. Now, one more as a driver. Rosero in that 41 machine doesn't want to see the back of the field at all, though he knows that a checkered flag, he'll have to stay on top of the race all night long if he wants any shot at just that victory. It is near already. He's up in front, has the prime position, the clean air, and no other driver to worry about. Just needs the launch. The past two races have only had one caution, and one of them was pre-race, so it's all green whenever the races get on their way, and every driver who knows that have to make sure they plan, run long. It's been distance, the formula all throughout the last few weeks of racing, but tonight could be the turning point as every driver comes through once again. Are we looking at a start to finish race, or are we looking at chaos all night long? It remains to be seen. Well, let's find out this time by the iRacing official pace car down and in. Going to be led by Michael Rosero and the Vinny Tigner machine. Let's get going in Joliet. It's going to be the B3 Designs 200 kicking off here and now. Let's go racing from Chicagoland. Lap number one done and done, and the man out in front is your pole sitter. Michael Rosero keeps it up where he started, and looking to finish there has Brian Russo right down to his inside line, and Vinny Tigner falls down to fourth with Jordan Kuntz right there side by side with him. Good majority of the field is still in the thick of it. Every driver is in your frame. It's Parker right now fighting with the debut of Ryan Wilson as they all come through turn 3 and 4 in lap number 2. Every driver optimistic about what is soon to come. The 41 coming out of the frame. Double file battle between Kuntz and then the number 99 as Alec Daffin fights with the one himself, and it looks like Carter Casey battling on the inside lines of the Alec Daffin machine, and Shaw Racing races right up high, tries to keep that momentum going, and it looks like it will be a bit of an advantage coming out of the back straightaway as the number 1 machine, Carter Casey, blocked down without much help down the brand back straight, and he's going to have to consolidate and concede at the same time as Alec Daffin now going to be undisputed in position number 5. Side by side, they still are, though. For position number 3, it's going to be Vinny Tigner and Jordan Kuntz going at it. Right now, Tigner has the edge up high, and the high line is developing quite well in the early stages of this race. Up high, Tigner goes. Jordan Kuntz trying to steal the show, gets right in between both of them, and it looks like he's going to be able to make that block on the 48 clearly, but he's got a big shunt going into turn number 3. Nothing going to come of it. These guys know that they got to race with patience, as right now Russo does get out clearly in second, but one man who's clearly in first, and that is the 41. How about that? Eric Heater plays just a bit in the back of your frame, but all 15 drivers are still going at him. Right now, the 41 being chased down by Russo. He just knows that he has to keep himself consistent and keep himself honest all night long. There's a lot of time for this race to be won and a lot of time for this race to be lost, and every driver knows just that. They'll have to keep themselves in check throughout the entirety of this race. Expected to be big on strategy, big on decisive and divisive calls on tires, fuel, and anything under the sun. Damage might become a big thing as well. If drivers get into that wall a bit too much, it could become a problem as the race gets through. 6 laps in of 134 down the back. Michael Rosero goes with Brian Russo. Vinny Tigner going to be in third, and right now Jordan Kuntz going to be in fourth right behind him. No battle within 1/10 of a second. The 44 machine right there with Kyle Jackson. Is Jackson now going to see Rick Spencer Wall go right there in front of him, and Spencer tries to make it done on Luke Peters. Does not get the pass. Gets close though, but no cigar. Going to keep it single file throughout the field right now. Every driver laying back, knowing that what they got in store has to be used at the very tail end. However, Deitch goes down to the inside line here, and Jackson and might have a run going, trying to produce some power in that number 44. As you can see, Deitch has himself below. He had a chance at it about a lap ago, but now falling back just a bit more. We'll have to wait another day for an opportunity, and it looks like it will come to him in due time. Jordan Parker right now 14th on the board in that number 65 machine, waiting for his chance to get back up in front. He still is with the draft here, but not close to Ryan Wilson, not close enough to battle at the moment. So 15th and last is actually occupied by Davis Lewis as Lewis falls back major. Would appear to be internet issues. Right now, Michael Rosero leads by 1 full second over Brian Russo in that number 3. Vinny Tigner right there in third goes side by side with him. Going to be dead even off the front stretch. It's going to be Vinny Tigner down low, Brian Russo up high, and then Jordan Coots trying to sneak right in. And it looks like the number 3 going to be slotted out by not 1, not 2, but 3 drivers at once. And Alec Daffin tries to take that number 4 spot from Russo. Right now, though, Brian going to be able to hold himself right up high. And the 48 machine is not going to be the guy who takes it away. That's going to be not without assistance as Carter Casey goes down low, gives him even more of a boost, and now that draft goes down low, and it works just right. The number 1 machine is right beside the number 3, and right now edge goes to Carter Casey as 9 laps in. It's going to be all about that number 1 in position number 5. The top 3, they're all spread out. It's going to be the driver in that number 99, 1 second off of Jordan Coots, and it looks like now it's going to be both of which 1 second off of Michael Rosero as time is flying, and that number 41 is flying just a bit quicker. Right now, Rosero has a clear advantage on the entirety of the field. Take a look off the back bumper here, and it looks like we're looking off the front bumper, and take a look off of it. It's clean air up in front for him, and looking off Jordan Coots in second, it is quite the contrary. One truck just racing away from the field, and he's extended that gap on his own lap after lap. That time by about 1/10 of a second slower, but it is no use so far. He still has a major edge on the entirety of my apologies, the field. And it looks like right now going to be a blowout, but it is not going to be a blowout for long. Not if a guy like Alec Daffin can get in the thick of it. 11 laps in, Daffin is be able to claw right up into the 4th spot, getting more and more time on Tigner and Jordan Coots. These top 2 guys right now separated by 9/10 of a second, and that time through once again, Coots was quicker, and this could become a game of using your stuff aggressively early versus using it all up later. Patience will prove to be a decisive factor for some, and it could be the key to victory for one of these guys up in the front of the field. It's not known just yet. However, Dylan Butler is now in the session, 16 laps down. He's not just yet. He's 11 laps down as is, and we are not sure how he got back in the 16th spot. He's indeed in and might just race with the field. However, so far, everyone is dispersed. A shot at a yellow. It is slim. Butler registered once again. He could come into the green flag racing just a bit late, but he will be back in the show. And now looks like a bit of dancing in the back of the packet to Rick Spencer Wall right behind the Bryce Saucier machine. And Saucier right now in that 07 goes up high, Luke. Go to right there with Eric Heater and Peters and Heater going to take on that number 07 at once. Saucier going to go up high. They're door banging just a bit, but nothing too serious. These drivers know they're in the back of the pack right now. No need to burn up their trucks and destroy them. And right now, Saucier goes up high, knowing he's being shuffled out major. Gets on that high seam, tries to use it on Peters. It looks like he does have an edge on speed, but not going to be enough, as that 4 machine has to lunge down to the inside line. And Russo and Michael Deitch go around, and that's going to be our first caution in almost 2 straight races. How about that? The yellow flags out for Brian Russo and Michael Deitch. Let's find out just what happened here. Looks like Russo got caught up in the back of the field, damage, and then got into Michael Deitch, so this is something we missed. That's for certain. We'll have to go way back to find out just what happened here, as it seems like this has been going on lap after lap. It starts just a few laps before, as you can see the battle got a bit feisty, and that number 3 goes up high, gets filed out. It just goes on from there. As you can see, at this rate, he's already falling back behind Alec Daffin, and it seems like damage accumulated more and more before he fell back throughout the entirety of this field. And by this point, Eric Heater gets up to him, and this was going on for laps, and then some. And now as you look, lap 15 at 134, it looks like Michael Deitch caught right up to him. That's how slow the number 3 machine was going, and they made contact. Not this lap around, or is it, as the number 44 machine was on a tear, and Russo was having a bit of trouble. River Page in the chat, thank you for stopping by. Brian Russo involved in an incident here, and this one took laps to form. Michael Deitch goes out of the inside line on him. They do make some contact, and that's what sends them around. And Russo not able to save it, gets in a ditch once again, and that yellow took about 5 laps of damage and passing to get right up to a culmination of some distress for the Brian Russo machine, falling out of favor up in front. However, Russo now going to be in third, and it looks like it's going to be Michael Rosero, the winner off pit road once again, with Stigner in that second spot, Alec Daffin in third, Carter Casey there in fourth, Jordan Kuhn's going to be in fifth, and now every driver getting off at about the same time, last of which going to be Michael Deitch, though, and Brian Russo now going to be further back, a bit further back than Michael Deitch, as a matter of fact, as he has more damage to get through, so not good for that number 3, Michael Rosero, though. He is in good spirits, good enough to be leading 16 laps in out of 134, and now safe spot to go the rest of the way. And the early goings brings out our first caution since Watkins Glen. The B3 Designs 200 getting a bit antsy so far as top contender Brian Russo falls to the bottom of the field and now is on pit road alone as the start-finish line going to be crossed by your leading man in that number 41 as Brian Russo gets right back on his way. It is going to be now 1 lap to green as every driver gets double filed here in Chicagoland. 1.5 miles the track length is, so it's going to be enough for that Brian Russo machine to get back out in front with the lead lappers. Right now, 15 of 16 drivers are on that lead lap. Dylan Butler now is recorded 16 laps down in the 16th position, so might not be racing that number 010 machine. However, he is going to be on that ticker, so I'm not quite sure what the game plan will be. As it appeared, he registered for just a few seconds on pit row for about 5 seconds in total and then disconnected from the session. However, right now, no disconnect between Michael Rosero and the race. You have 17 laps out of the way, got quite a lot remaining, and that number 41 right now gets his first caution, and like we saw on Thursday night, could this be the first and only all race long? We'll find out, as it seems like it's now in the hands of the 41 and 99 all over again. Brian Russo still going to be on that lead lap, has a bit of damage, and it might be too much to contend for now. He'll have to wait until later to get some damage out of the truck. Going to be Rosero, Vinny Tigner once again. Restart number 1 going to be on the way here in Chicagoland, led by the Mobile 1 machine. And a perfect launch once again from Michael Rosero out in front by a long shot over Alec Daffin and Jordan Kuhn. However, it's going to be Daffin, the big winner off that restart. Tigner falls back into fourth. Going to be Carter Casey there in fifth. And it's going to be side by side with Luke Peters. Position number 5. The number 1 machine goes way down. Going to be Luke Peters staying up high, keeping him honest, keeping him in check. Lap number 19. Here they go. Double file 2 rows deep. That number 1 machine right down on the bottom, keeping himself on that apron, trying to use that paint as a bit more grip. That is a technique used in the real world, not often at Chicagoland. However, it seems like the worn out surface, of course not being paved in quite a while due to no use in the real world, might be a bit too much wear and tear to use that seam trick to their advantage. So many defined grooves, and right now they all go down right above the apron. You can take the apron if you need it, but no driver has opted to. Now Daffin on the back bumper of the 41 as Jordan Kuhn's right there with him. It's getting real dicey up in front, and now a 3-man lead battle it is on. And the number 00 is right now on the back bumper of Michael Rosero like it is nothing. Take a look at that rear end shot. The 41 has a lot of drivers shooting to get up to him, and the 00 Jordan Kuhn is not going to wait around much longer. He goes down good once again. Michael Rosero has that edge, goes out of the apron, cuts down the draft, but Jordan Kuhn could dive it in, and that he does. But does not make contact. Going to be patient and going to get that exit, get him right back up to the front. And Rosero in the 41 still has it over Jordan Kuhn from Alec Daffin. Now going to be in third, laying back just a bit to see how these guys make it work with one another. You don't want to get your truck ruined very early. You see some guys getting aggressive. You know you have the speed. You might want to wait back if you're in the situation of Alec Daffin. And it looks like for his expertise, he's going to wait it, or perhaps he's used up his tires just a bit. It's not worth it to chase right now. Wait for these drivers to chase themselves until they're tired. And when the tires begin to wear out, make your move. Being in the draft with guys in front and behind you, it's a very safe spot to be in. And right now, it is going to be Luke Peters in a spot very similar, just one spot below. He's in 4th at the moment, as it's going to be the 99 battling inside line of Eric Heater. And Heater pins him right down to the apron as he blinks just a bit. The 99 tries to make the pass work. He does not get it. And now the number 28 machine has the edge once more. And looking further back into the field right now, battle between rookies, the 56 of Ryan Wilson and Jordan Parker battling for position number 11. Right now, Parker does not have it. Ryan Wilson does. That number 11 spot held by the 56 in his first night of action. Brian Russo now getting back down in 12th. He has major damage on that hood. Take a close-up shot courtesy of our drone cameras here on FTN, and you can see that number 3 not in the best state. He currently finds himself in a bit of trouble in that number 3 with front end damage. He still is in front of Michael Deitch in 14th, as Davis Lewis is right now 2 seconds behind with a clean truck in 15th. The truck is not driving to his liking, was up in front and quick in practice. The race, it is not gone his way. Could be waiting for a wreck, could be sandbagging it. But right now, everyone up in front, gearing up for the long haul once again. Up front, they're single file. The battles have not been as intense as we'd expect. And right now, single file trains been the move. Most of the guys in the top 5. Eric Heater right now begs to differ as he's right there with Carter Casey. And Casey up high. Going to be Eric Heater back down low again. And it looks like Carter gets that major surge and keeps himself in front of the number 28. But now Vinny Tigner wants to lay claim at that spot. And 6th spot going to be in contention once again, as now that number 99 thinks he has an opportunity to go chase it and get it back for himself. And as they cut right through, once again, it's going to be Vinny Tigner down the backstretch, sees that Eric Heater blinks, and that's what makes it so unpredictable to pass a driver like Eric Heater. We've seen him blink quite a lot in the most recent races in this series, and it's impossible to predict where he will be in accordance with the remainder of the field. Right now, he just blinked out once again. Very hard to follow someone who blinks out that frequently, and these drivers know that they have to pay close attention to a driver flickering in and out that much. It's a very dangerous situation to be in for the 99 machine, as he knows any move could wreck himself or wreck Eric Heater without him even knowing it. So laying back right now, just using the draft in front, not going to be too worried about it. You have to keep yourself calm in a situation just like this. If you mess up, well, you might have yourself to blame, as right now they're all single file out in front, and it seems like the closest battle is way behind him. Even then, Michael Rosero is going to keep Jordan Kuntz there in 2nd, and Alec Daffin is in 3rd, as now that number 41 machine, his teammate, is Luke Peters. He's there in 4th in the 4 machine. And Carter Casey right there in 5th. Sees that it could be a battle once again for the final spot in the podium. Peters right now does not have it. Alec Daffin does. And they're going to be dicing it up for the 3rd spot if it goes to plan for that number 4. Down to the apron once again. No driver goes, but they all get way down to its entry point. And that number 4 machine now knows that he might be as quick, if not a bit quicker, than Alec Daffin. Gained a lot of time in the last few laps. That time through only 300ths of a second slower, so not a major deficit in speed for any one of these guys in the top 5. Peters knows that if he wants a shot at that top 5, top 3, he could certainly take it. But right now, it still is only about a quarter of the way through this race. You don't want to do anything of the sort. And anything of the sort in regards to aggression has been avoided. But right now, Vinny Tigner goes down to the quarter panel again of Eric Heater, showing the signal of sort of impatience at this rate. As you can see, that 28 blinks again, and he's right there on that bumper. He's going to try to make the move this time by the quarter panel. He's right on it. He does go down the inside, but not enough to make an attempt. He thinks better of it, and lets that 28 run his course once more. They both go right up high. It's going to be the 28 right there with the 99. Still Tigner trying to hold on, as Eric Heater keeps himself right there in 8th. Going to be Carter Casey in 5th. Luke Peters there in 4th. Alec Daffin getting right there in tow. And you can see Peters and Daffin keep themselves right there in 4th and 3rd respectively. And right now, Daffin has the edge, but it now seems that that number 4 machine might have just enough speed to make a run within the coming laps. Now the 99 goes down to the inside of the 28. Again, keep an eye out on that angle. Of course, we can see both battles, and Luke Peters has all of the draft that Alec Daffin has, and then some. Gets a lot of course, opportunity in the corners, gets to send it into the entry just a bit more, and that could be enough for a desperate maneuver. But right now, he knows that playing the long turn is that much better, so he chooses not to make anything of it that time by Alec Daffin's rivals in this race include Jordan Coots in second, but still it is Michael Rosero out in front, able to outlast the early storm in that restart, and right now leads by about 0.2 of a second, just about a quarter of the second at the moment. Comes out of line for lap number 33 this time around. Looking in the back of the field once again, Alec Daffin right on that quarter panel of Luke Peters. Now Peters did in fact make it by in that number 4, and we expected a move to be made, but maybe it wouldn't be that early. It looks like that it was, and the number 4 knows his pace and calls his own shots, and now leads the battle for that final spot in the podium. Further news in the back of the field, it's going to be the number 28 machine of Eric Heater holding on right in front of the Vinny Tigner machine. He blinks out once again. The 99 sees the unpredictability ramp up once more, and he wants to make something happen into the corners, especially when the Heater machine is blinking. Not much you can do with a guy like that right in front of you, and Davis Lewis goes down a pit road, and I think that's might be it. Let's find out just what happened as Davis Lewis comes out of pit road with a decisive entry into the area outside of racing territory and just appears to park it. And that would be the run for the number 16 machine if that in truth is the night. Goes down to pit road and he's done and done. 100 laps to go here in Chicagoland, and the number 41 machine of Michael Rosero keeps himself out in front, now gaining slowly but surely in front of the remainder of the field as Carter Casey now has not one but 2 drivers chasing him down, and Eric Heater now takes him down to the inside line looking for the pass. Carter Casey stays high, and it looks like they're dead even at the front stretch. Casey high, and it's going to be Heater down low. Who has the momentum? It looks like that number 1 machine does, and it's going to be Ching for lap number 35. Carter Casey is scored in 5th, but very close call between the both of them, as now Eric Heater has that edge on the inside, going to be just about clear, not enough to complete it, and now it's going to be a battle all over again. And the difference between inches and millimeters and then some, it's all about the fine measurements here in racing. If you can clear that truck by any means, sometimes you might have to get a little bit desperate. You might as well go for it. If Carter Casey got himself clear of Eric Heater, if it was vice versa, it could have been a pass and a battle concluded in just a second. But now they go at it once again, and Heater has himself in a similar spot, although we don't see it on your screen. It looks like he washes up just a bit more that time through, and he now is not having the upper hand in the battle. The leverage is not there as they come down the back, this time through 37 laps in. Out of 134, you can see that number 1 machine of Carter Casey holds on strong and now has the edge of Eric Heater, but only just as Heater takes him right down to the inside. Once again, battle is brewing all around the track. Carter Casey barely has the edge on that number 28 as they come through once again. Heater now has himself onto the apex, and it seems like that is his trump card. If he can use it, he will. And as they come down the back, it is still all about that inside for the 28, but now Carter Casey appears to be clear. And looking throughout the entirety of the field right now, Rick Spencer-Walt is in 8th, Kyle Jackson in 9th, Bryce Saucier is in 10th, and Ryan Wilson is there in 11th. And right now, a battle that is brewing is between the drivers of Russo and Michael Deitch. However, Jordan Parker, now the last driver in this field in that number 65, is right there. And let's ride on board the man in that number 65, not only in the virtual world, but in the physical world. Take a look at this, the driver of the number 65 machine. It all comes alive on your screen, live on FTN, and you can see that is Jordan Parker in motion. Now, we have mentioned that we've had this technology before, and Jordan Parker, the first driver to test it out in the Stock Car Racing League Redline structures, and as you can see, that is his entirety of his setup, the wheel and all. And now comes down pit road as we're watching on board. The 65 makes it in, and it could be the first strategic stop for him this time by. Let's take a look at what's going on. As you can see, his onboard camera and his digital camera, and we'll see if he's coming out for a strategic stop as we're watching every one of his movements. Now, this is yet another level of realism courtesy of iRacing, using steering wheels and pedals and whatnot. It's almost like you're inside of the truck. And right now, Parker, waiting for his car and truck to get on the way, lets the engine go as soon as he can, as he waits for all of the fuel to be injected, all the tires to be set up. He's now going to be on the way, and the 65 goes one lap down as he puts the power down once more. And that's a look at our driver cam, courtesy of Fisher Studios tonight on FTN. Let's get right back into live action. That number 65 machine now up in position number 14, as it was Davis Lewis, who retired 8 laps ago. Michael Rosero, top man on the board here, and it seems like 42 laps in, no drivers broke his stride. He's still up there. No driver has gotten to the point of holding him down. Jordan Kuntz there in second, Luke Peters is in third, and Alec Daffin going to be in fourth. Derek Heater now in fifth, firmly in front of Tigner and Carter Casey. And as we last looked at this battle, it was Eric Heater on the back foot and Carter Casey with the advantage, but now it is all shifted. Once again, Heater played it with patience and now has that advantage. Vinny Tigner in the 6th spot. He is still going to be in the middle of the show, but is not up in front of the 28 as he would have anticipated for his GM Racing operation. As it stands, it's going to be Heater, who is still blinking in the 5th spot. Vinny Tigner is in 6th, and Carter Casey still there in 7th. Rick Spencer Walk going to be in the 8th spot right now, as he is still battling with Kyle Jackson. One man goes down to pit road once again. It's Jordan Parker. I do believe that he missed some fuel on that pit stop, as it seems like he took tires but not fuel, and now comes down once again after an awful quick first pit stop. This will slow him down and put him multiple laps down and perhaps out of winning contention for Parker as the 65 comes in, and it seems like an error on his last stop, and now on to his next. He'll have to set himself up with fuel this time by get back into contention in this race. 44 laps in. It is still no pit for the Michael Rosero machine. He is in the 1st spot, 44 laps in. And it looks like now Davis Lewis, Dylan Butler, the only retirees in this race. And number 41 goes down the apron this time by. And so does his teammate in Luke Peters. Jordan Kuntz holds on strong. And with this being said, Jordan Kuntz now in the Ford F-150 sandwich, and of course it's going to be the factory team for Mobile 1 here in this league. They get a bit shaky that time through. Jordan Kuntz has no momentum. Luke Peters has all of it, and now it's going to be 1-2 for G-Force Racing. And right now, while it is close, it is all but confirmed that number 4 machine has a spot, although it seems like he does have it at the timing scoring line. Jordan Kuntz keeps him all honest, and now 45 laps in. Going to make it 46. The number 4 machine is there in second, as drivers come down to pit road for what could be a 2-stop race. Carter Casey going to be in, so is Bryce Saucier, so is Rick Spencer Wald, and they all come through at the same time. It's Ryan Wilson now going to be promoted into 8th. It is a 1, 2, 3 group right there, as Jordan Parker going to be on the way. A total of 4 laps down at the moment, and Casey makes himself known in the pit entry, mixes it just a bit. Rick Spencer Wald going to be on the way, and Kyle Jackson there as well. Now, it appears that the remainder of the field will have to come in sometime soon. 31 laps into this stint, 47 into the race overall. It seems like it will be a 2-stopper from here on out for any successful run, as it looks like next up going to be Vinny Tigner down and in. He'll make it to pit road. Then it's going to be Ryan Wilson, then Eric Heater, Daffin, Kuntz, Peters, and Rosero. They've not gone down just yet, but they are due to make a stop sometime soon. Next up, going to be Jordan Kuntz in the 4th spot. And Jordan going to be able to make it in nice and easy. 47 laps in. He makes it in before his contemporaries up in front. The undercut could be the way to go. It remains to be seen, however. And Michael Rosero, an ace with strategy, his teammate Luke Peters right there with him. They could strategize to the fullest extent and perhaps get the advantage overall. Alec Daffin now in 3rd. And the experiment of running along down to its final 4 drivers has been whittled down to this point. Who knows how far it is going to go? As down and in, Michael Rosero takes it. Luke Peters going to stay at 1 longer, and so is Alec Daffin going to come down. It's Heater and Peters out in front 48 laps in, make it 49 this time by. And pit strategy is becoming a bit hectic. Luke Peters now there with Eric Heater as the only two drivers to run this race along. It's going to be Michael Rosero in the third position there, and you can see makes it down to pit road on his pole position stall. And now it's going to be Brian Wilson on his way, and Ryan B makes it in as Eric Heater still makes out some spots and now gets in the first. As Eric Heater going to see himself in that top spot, and Luke Peters there in second. And Fisher Studios saying that was a penalty for eating. So how about that? Sets him down quite a lot, and he's going to be 4 laps down as is, as a good majority of the field is 1 lap down. And last time we went racing, the entirety of the field went 1 lap down under pit cycles, and that could be the same 50 laps in. Peter stays out just long enough to make it to Luke Peters once again. Now bear with us here. Eric Heater is blinking on our end, not sure what's causing it. It could be on his side, it could be on iRacing, but the number 28 eats this lap and now has the number 4 machine in jeopardy of going 1 lap down, and that he does. The leader, Eric Heater, out in front by 1 full lap over the remainder of the field, and now looks set to come down to pit road, this time by advantageous over every driver on the track. Luke Peters going to be down onto the 7th position and falling back fast. This time by does in fact make it down to pit road. Now lets the entirety of the field go back to work. Going to be slipping and sliding down to pit road. Going to be an aggressive entry. He makes it in, and now we're back on our way with the new cycle of tires. Jordan Kuntz, the leader over Vinny Tigner, and it looks like undercutting was the way to go. Now has the edge over Tigner, Davin, Spencer, Wall, and Jackson. Luke Peters right now is a total of just about 3 seconds off your leader, doing the calculations in real time there. As Heater now going to be up in front by only 11 seconds. Could he come out with the race lead? It is possible. It is not probable. As you can see, Kuntz going to come across the stripe this time by. Eric going to be able to book it out, but not going to be enough at all. Coming around, it's going to be a new race leader in Jordan Kuntz, and it's going to be right behind him, Vinny Tigner, 0099, coming through this time by to take the field by storm. And 52 laps in, it is all shifted up just at this rate. It's going to be all about undercut on strategy. However, it's not confirmed that it will be the way to go. Drivers like Daffin, they came down very late, and drivers like Rick Spencer Walt came down very early, and now going to be back in contention. It seems like a total of just about 8 drivers within 6 seconds of your man. Those are the drivers to keep an eye out for, as Michael Rosero retires a bit early, 2 laps in to his retirement. It looks like a faulty pit stop. 55 seconds on pit row, and that is it for the man in that number 41. Done and done. Jordan Parker due to advance 1 spot up to 13th, and that would be better than the position he finished at Iowa last time we went racing, so it's going to be an improvement nonetheless as the 41 off of the circuit tonight. And the 00 of Jordan Kuntz holds on strong, 54 laps in. You can see Vinny Tigner right there behind him, and Alec Daffin there in third. These guys are right within the leading pace as they come through the back once again. Jordan Kuntz is the leader, but not by all too much. Vinny and Alec, they know that if they have any opportunity to make it happen, they'll go for it. Aggression, we have not seen it all too much just yet, but it is possible that the guys kick into yet another gear and find yet another 1/10 of a second that could be the advantage for the win. They always prove to be clutch when they need to be, and a driver like Jordan Kuntz is no stranger to the clutch victories. A multi-time winner this season alone, locked up into the playoffs race when we get down to it later in the year, and he knows that what he's done so far in the season has been nothing short of incredible. A top split road to pro driver broadcasted on FTN. He is one of the second split guys, so he's one of the best in the best when it comes to running in these trucks. Very few drivers on the level, if not better. So Jordan, always a contender in these trucks, a conversation piece in the NASCAR world, as Alec Daffin going to go down to the inside line there for second. As the edge down to the apex, it could be enough to make something happen, and it looks like that it will be. Daffin now going to be in second, 4/10 of a second off of your leader, chasing win number 1 on the season. Now Alec Daffin, a known contender and winner in this league, not been able to get it done this season, however, and while he's gotten close, there's still not been any time where it's been definite. Dominated at Daytona, only to get wrecked within the final 30 laps of the show, and from there the luck has not been where he's needed. A top 5 guy, race in, race out. He's had several podiums, no checkers to show for it. So tonight could be the change that he's been looking for. That's Alec Daffin in the Shaw Racing number 48. And right now, the top man in points for Shaw Racing is indeed that number 48 machine. His teammates in Aaron Brown, Cameron Paris, Alonzo King, and the like. They have not been here for quite a while, and he's been the flag bearer ever since. Last time we saw Aaron Brown make an attempt was last week. However, in a very bad result at Watkins Glen, got destroyed before the race began, and that was his night. That was the most recent caution we'd had in this series before tonight's first and only caution so far. So if that puts it into perspective, quite frankly, I don't know what else will, as Ryan Wilson comes down to pit road this time by only 9 laps into his run. Not sure what the 56th plan is here, as the debutant comes down and in after a solid top 12 run in his first attempt. Gonna come down, make it so, and it looks like that might just be it for his run. Makes it into a stall and looking for extra service here. 56 not going to be bowing down, but it seems like something wrong with his pit stop. Last time around, or no, it looks like that will be it. Ryan Wilson, as we mentioned him, retires from this race, and now we only have 12 drivers on the field. It's going to be Jordan Parker getting one more spot. He'll be into 12th now as the race of attrition, it is on. And now as we come closer and closer to the halfway mark, in just about 7 laps time, Jordan Kuntz still the leader, but it has been Alec Daffin clawing more and more of that divisive gap away. And right now, they might just be united when it comes to the draft. He's right on the tail end, using all of that air being cut through to his advantage, pushing down the Brant backstretch once again and getting a bit more aggressive. Looks to the inside, just a bit a signal of things to come. It might just be sort of racing's foreshadowing here, as he is looking to make something happen whenever he's close enough. Down the front stretch once again, the Geico restart zone, they passed it, and right now they're going to be only separated by 8/100ths of a second. Down to the inside, Alec Daffin goes, and now the 00 is in a bit of trouble. Daffin is on newer tires than him, and right now he's quicker than Luke Peters on newer tires than the both of them, as they go side by side down to the wire. Daffin has the opportunity to jump it in deep this time around. That's what he chooses to do. Jordan Kuntz stays up high, gives him just enough room. And as they come corner number 4, it looks like Daffin will be able to just barely lead that lap over Jordan Kuntz, but it's going to be a very slim shot. And it looks like now the 48 is in prime position to get one done, if of course he just stays down low. Riding more Jordan Kuntz here, he still is up in front on our end now, and it seems like Alec falls right back in to second. Brian Russo comes to the pit road this time by. I'm not sure if this is going to be a retirement as well, as Russo comes in with a lot of damage, only about 10 laps into his run, and could be it for the man in that number 3. The sponsor of tonight's event, running currently in 11th, was running in 10th, and now makes himself down as the lone driver on pit road. Comes into his pit stall just like that. So getting down and in, Jordan Parker looks to be able to get one more spot out of it. As you can see, that truck does not have a driver inside of it. It looks like that might just be it for Brian Russo as well. And now that number 3 is out of this race. Make it a field of 11 drivers backing out just like that. It's going to be Jordan Parker up into 11th, and now we see the drivers whittle down. The best of the best out in front, though, with Kuntz, Peters, and Alec Daffin. Now Luke Peters is there in second. Now, Alec Daffin's bid for the race lead might be coming to an end for now. Luke Peters, however, is on the youngest set of tires inside the top 3. He currently has a 14-lap-old set in him compared to Jordan Kuntz's 16-lap-old set. That is a multi-lap advantage over the man who leads the way. However, he got out to a later jump on Kuntz, so he had to make up more time and more distance on those tires, and that could be a disadvantage. But down to the inside line, down to the apron, Luke Peters, now the new race leader, and puts it down there with all the grip in the world. Their new race leader is a number 4, but not if the 00 has anything to say about it. They're still side by side, our corner number 2. And now Bryce Saucier comes to the pit road just like that. No, he's going to have a blown motor. Blown motor for the 07 machine. And it looks like no yellow flag out on the field. He despawns. That looks to be his night as well. Another driver down and out. 65 laps in. And Bryce Saucier is in trouble. Let's find out just what happened here. The 07 machine blows a motor. Looks like he gets scraped on the wall, then comes down at full speed. And that's going to be his night. The 07 machine, it goes out without a fight, and that's going to be another blown engine in front of your leader, 66 laps in, and now the 07 looks to be done for the race. No driver inside that truck. I'm certain he's disconnecting, as is Jordan Parker, now set to go one more spot up, and Parker looking to advance to a top 10 here in Chicagoland. Going to be 10 drivers on the field at the moment, and now Jordan Coots only needs a field of 9 behind him as they come through lap 67 on 134. The cross flags will leave this time by 68 laps to go, and it's going to be all about the second half from here on out. Very little time remains for every one of these drivers, and they know it best. You gotta push to your limit if you want the win with such little time remaining. And down to the inside, Luke Peters goes once again. Peters makes it in just behind the number 00 machine. The draft, it is tight-knit, and right now they'll be coming off with 67 laps remaining. Down to the inside line, he's going to go once again. Luke Peters does. Keeps Jordan Coots right in front of him, though, but getting that clean air might be an advantage over the entirety of the run. Michael Deitch, the next lap machine, to be put one down. We'll see what he does with the leaders coming up on him just about a few seconds away here, and it could be a pickoff used for the number 4 to put Jordan Coots in a precarious position and perhaps get himself the spot just like that. A vicious wreck for Bryce Dossier, now getting down in the 11th position out of the race with a blown motor, and it's going to be 10 drivers on the track at the moment, last of which Jordan Parker there in 10th. Michael Knight is going to be in 9th, going to be Kyle Jackson in 8th, then Carter Casey in 7th, Rick Spencer Wall in 6th, going to be Vinny Tigner 5th, Eric Heater in 4th, Alec Daffin there in 3rd, Luke Peters going to be in 2nd, and then Jordan Coots, leading man, is down to the inside once again. Going to be Luke Peters going forward once more as they come off of turn number 4. Going to be Luke Peters and Alec Daffin in 2nd and 3rd, but Jordan Coots is still your leading man with 1/10 of a second in front of the field here and now, as it seems like Bryce Saucier still on pit road. He is not disconnected, but certainly waiting to get it done until we, of course, mention him. Now Saucier out of the race entirely. And now a new race begins. Down to the inside line, Luke Peters now has a shot at the leader. Down he goes. However, it seems like it won't work that time by. He still has an opportunity to stick himself into the equation off the front stretch. He stays right behind, has that draft, not going to be enough. Take a look off the back bumper of the 00 machine. Luke Peters still going to be there in 2nd. Alec Daffin going to be in 3rd. And Eric Heater there in 4th, a few seconds away. Down to the inside line once again, it's going to be Luke Peters going forward. And it's going to be Jordan Coots showing that he wants just a bit more out of that truck. It might be a bit more tension than he expected inside that 00, as Proximity Racing's leading man now is in close proximity to the 2nd place driver, and not in a good way. He's being chased down. He is the hunted, and the number 4 is the hunter. But right now, they're both coming up to some prey in that number 44. And now Luke Peters goes down to the inside line to try to box out the leading man overall. And Jordan Parker comes off pit road once again, 5 laps down. Michael Deitch sees the leaders are now in the back bumper, and they are coming quick and quicker. As you can see, that number 00 now has to think about what he's going to do to get by Michael Deitch. And with the number 44 machine right in front, it looks like Jordan Coots has only a few opportunities to make something happen. Go low, go high, or see what number 44 does as he make the move for you. Right now, he has not, but getting closer and closer and creeping up on Michael Deitch. It seems like the move could be made here and now. Off the brand back straightaway, gets a major run and major toe in as well. Deitch goes down to the inside line, slows down just a bit, and it looks like he stays down low for now as Coots getting closer and closer. The number 44 machine still going to be there in the Mountain Dew livery, and it seems like that 00 going to be left by on the higher side. Michael Deitch down to the apron, will not wash right back up, and it looks like not going to be an issue at all for the top 2 guys. They get right by your driver in the 9th position. Now only 8 drivers remain inside that lead lap. Deitch used a lot of time that time by, letting just about the entirety of the field go. 61 laps remaining. The B3 Designs 200 all comes down to this. The 00 is still out in front with Luke Peters there in 2nd. And Alec Daffin there in 3rd. It's going to be Eric Heater now in the 4th spot right behind. For the top 3 guys only separated by half a second. However, right now, it's still the top two, the closest on the entirety of the circuit, as now Michael Deitch comes down to pit road this time through. It could be his night is over as well, as he comes down and in. It could be a strategic stop, 27 laps into this stint, and Deitch makes his way in. As drivers roar on by, the 44 comes down to the pit road, and it looks like he is still going to stay in that truck. Not in jeopardy of leaving just yet, just going to get some extra fuel and tire into it. So Michael Deitch is still going in this race. What's still going, however, at the same time is the lead battle, and the pit cycle is indeed underway. Alec Daffin comes in with Vinny Tigner in big trouble, and I do believe he saved it, just kisses it, and Spencer Walt does the same thing. 2 drivers, 2 spins, and 2 kisses on the inside retainer. They're still going. I can't believe it. And we'll have to get a replay on that one just in a moment. You can see Vinny Tigner started the fire there as that number 99 comes into pit road. You can see he gets it all loosened up trying to chase down Daffin, gets caught at the merger point and spins it and gets in much lower than pit speed and gets a bit of a tap on the front end and keeps on going. Then Spencer Walt does it. He gets tapped up a bit more on the rear end, but he keeps it going as well. They both get caught at the same point. As you can see, the merger just catches them out, and it looks like focusing a bit too much on the 99. The 97 was the exact same thing. What a way to go into pit road, and now it's going to be in a dicey exit. Both drivers get out 4th and 5th. Now 5th and 6th as Alec Daffin gets cycled up in front. Jordan Kuntz come down to pit road this time by. He's going to be on his way in 3rd. It's going to be Luke Peters and Eric Heater once again. The 2 drivers keeping the experiment alive to stay out on track just a bit longer. And with Peters now out in front with 57 laps to go, this might not be the final stop for him. It looks like it might be one more pit stop on the night before the race is over. 57 laps left. The stints are about 28 laps apiece. But there is no way for these drivers to go all the way on this set of fuel and tires. It looks like that is simply not possible mathematically. However, they could extend it up to about 55 laps to go. That seems to be the goal for Eric Heater and Luke Peters here. Peters being the leader of the 2 right now, and it seems like that lead, it is not diminishing. Heater going to be only 0.7 of a second away, and while he's on newer tires, it won't be enough to catch him by the point they go down to pit road. These guys are working more or less in tandem with each other and not against one another. You want to make sure that the drivers in the same strategy as you are right there on pace with you, and it seems like both of which are very quick at the moment, making it down the line for 55 laps remaining. How about we take a lap on board, 80 laps in with your leading man. And Peters comes in this time by. Luke Peters going to be in on pit road this time through. Now it's going to be only one man out on the track, Eric Heater, as Michael Deitch retires from the race from the 9th position. Now it's going to be Jordan Parker pushed up 1 spot into the single digits, as it's going to be Heater blinking way up high, and now only 9 drivers remain on the track. Michael Deitch locked in for a 10th place finish, going to take it, and he is going to leave it in the same vein. And right now, that number 4 machine is going to be the only man on pit road. Eric Heater stays out in front with just a few more laps to go on this experiment. 54 laps to go. He stayed out for 29 of which, and he's going to stretch it the absolute longest to see if he can make something happen with an experimental pit strategy. The playoffs race, it is getting closer and closer to its conclusion, and only a few more weeks to decide who makes it in and who does not. And right now, Eric Heater, already one of the drivers who is locked in off of victory, knows he can risk it just a bit. A lot of these guys are locked in, but someone like Alec Daffin is not. Take a look at Alec Daffin right now. He's not blinking, but he is in fact in second, but only just right now. He's going to go down to the inside line once again, side by side with Jordan Kuntz once more, and it looks like Jordan Parker due for its first top 10 in this league. How about that for Fisher Studios and that number 65? Going to get their best result in their entirety of competition here in the B3 Designs 200. Going to be a memory for sure, as the man in that number 65 holds on strong and make sure If you can, leave a subscription to Fisher Studios as well as FTN. Great to see their support on the channel time after time, as that number 65 machine is now inside the 9th spot and is looking to be locked in for a top 10 finish. 9th at the moment, being given position after position to retirement after retirement from 16th on the grid and now up into 9th, as the 48 machine now going to fall down to the 3rd. It's Jordan Kuntz chasing down Eric Heater. Right now, Heater, as is, has about 23 seconds ahead of the entirety of the field, making about 25 now. But he'll have to come down to pit road sometime soon, and it's going to be a risk maybe worth taking. As he comes down this time by, going to be a way risky pit stop entry, but now he's in, and looks to be good to go for one more stop in about 25 laps time. Jordan Kuntz going to be there with 51 laps to go, coming off the brand back straightaway, the man out in front, as Eric Heater now comes down into his pit stall, and luckily for him, he has one of the stalls up in front. He can get that exit and get it going. Now, going to be 8 seconds in front of Jordan Kuntz as they come across the stripe. This time by, will it be enough? Well, let's find out as Eric Heater comes off of his stall. Not in time, not in the slightest. It's Kuntz, Daffin, and then Eric Heater comes out right behind Luke Peters, way back in the field. Now behind guys like Casey, Spencer Wall, and Vinny Tigner. He'll be behind Kyle Jackson as well. The slowest stop in this bunch of 41.8 compared to Jordan Kuntz's 38.1. That is not good at all, and he loses 3 extra seconds on top of staying out longer. So now Eric Heater in big trouble with 50 laps to go here in Chicagoland. And make that 49.86 laps in out of 134. Time is running out, and the drivers up in front, well, they know it. Jordan Kuntz in that 00 machine is Alec Daffin right there in second, and Luke Peters there in third. They're all separated by only about 5 seconds overall. The remainder of the field way further back. Top 9 drivers separated by 4 laps right now. Top 10 separated by 9 laps, and then we see that the 8th spot is controlled by Heater, as it stands, is about 1/2 lap down, and he's in big trouble. He's 3 seconds off of the next man in front. That's Kyle Jackson. So that 28 has to put himself at the 110%. My God, it's going to be a bit of a trouble for him, as it seems like a bit of trouble for his internet. And that number 28 machine now has to think of what is the next choice in this race. We've seen a lot of guys disconnect out of frustration with their races, just quitting it a bit earlier than the checkered flags fall, and the 28 still far out, but gaining big on Kyle Jackson. Jackson on an 11-lap old set of tires compared to Eric Heater's 2-lap old set, so it's going to be a clear advantage in tire this time by, and Eric putting together one of the fastest laps all race long. Down the line this time by, going to be the 28 machine, the fastest by a long shot, and side by side with that 96 easy pass, and now the fastest lap he's run all race long. As a matter of fact, the fastest lap in this race, a 31.393 for Eric Heater, fastest by a long shot. Take a look at that. The 28 machine out in front by a long shot indeed in terms of lap speed, but not in terms of position. Right now, 7th as it stands. Not going to be good enough for the top spot. Jordan Kuntz still leads from Alec Daffin and Luke Peters. Vinny Tigner will be right there in 4th in, of course, the 4th position, 4 seconds off of your leader. Rick Spencer Walk going to be in 5th right now, and Jordan Parker in the 9th spot is going to be lapped once again here. 65 machine has that number 99 right behind as they go toe-to-toe. This time through, the 99 goes right up high, and it's going to be a side-by-side battle, but not a battle for long, as Jordan Parker going to get him right through, and Parker gets it, of course, for a moment, but now it's going to be Vinny Tigner getting right by Rick Spencer Walk, going to be in 5th, chasing him down as well. And with 45 laps to go here in Chicagoland, it's going to be all about the next pit stop. 13 laps into this run, almost halfway in the penultimate stint, and Kuntz has the lead easily by 0.6 of a second. And with this lead being much bigger than anticipated, Jordan Kuntz has a lot of fluff to run on right now. Could make a mistake or two and still be the leading man. Looks like right now, patience has been the key to his success. waited it out for one of the first few runs, then got that caution. Then got himself aggressive a bit later and found himself up in front, and right now gaining time, gaining a gap to Alec Daffin, about 8/10 of a second away now compared to 6/10 last time through. And this time by Jordan Kuntz runs a 32.910 compared to Alec Daffin's 33.060, so in a different range in terms of seconds. That's how quick the 00 machine is here and now as he keeps it out in front with 43 laps remaining. And the 00 out in front, powered by Nitro. There's going to be the Alec Daffin machine in second. It looks like the closest battle on the racing circuit going to be in position number 6. Rick Spencer walking right there with Carter Casey. And right now, as a matter of fact, Carter Casey has just gotten by the 65 of, well, Jordan Parker. And right now, 97 of Spencer Wall, who got banged up on that pit entry, able to save it and keep himself in the battle for a top 5. Sees that Eric Heater is quite, by a large margin, the fastest man on the track. Right now is an 8 lap gap in terms of advantage on tires, and right now is only 8 seconds behind the leader. It could be enough, as he's about a second a lap faster, making it happen time after time. 42 remaining. That 28 machine knows what he's got to do. He's locking down. He is quicker, and right now goes up high on Tigner, knowing that 99 machine does not want to let him by. He still has a shot. He's gonna go for it, and it looks like he will have to take it for anything here with 41 laps remaining. Lap 94 of 134, side by side they were, and that number 28 gets it quite easily. Now here, going to be back on the way, still much quicker. Gets right by the 99, who slowed him down quite a bit, but Jordan Kuntz still faster than the man in second, and that is all that matters right now, right in front of him. Clean air, clean track, and clear skies for a victory, so long as the 00 just holds on to the spot that he's in, almost a second ahead of Alec Daffin in second right now, and Daffin getting chased down by Luke Peters, as Peters is on much younger tires. It could be enough for a late race surge. The number 4 stayed out much longer than the man in that 48 and stayed out a bit short on the Eric Heater. And it looks like he took the best of both worlds here, getting closer and closer to the top spot on the field, but also getting much better tire life out of it. Much quicker, can push a bit harder, and when they come down at about 10 laps time, he'll have a bit more in that tire that he can use to get a bit better of a pit entry and a pit exit as well. Minor advantages adding up in strategy for Luke Peters as he goes down on the brand backstretch right behind the 48 of Alec Daffin. Daffin keeps him honest and keeps him right behind him for now, but Peters knows that as long as he keeps in the wake of that 48, he has a chance at getting right by, pushing as hard as he can. Parker comes down to pit road this time by Jordan Parker in 4 laps down, and looks like extra service for him. Perhaps the final stop it could be, however. He's off cycle big time here with 38 laps to go. I'm not quite sure if he can make it. It looks like the longest run we've seen was about 33, 34 laps. You have to save a few laps worth of tire to make it happen. However, he's about 40 laps to go on his end. That could be the reason he come down to pit road at that time. Right now, that is an indicator, though. We could see some pit strategy come around one final trip, as Jordan Kuntz is now only 7/10 of a second ahead of Luke Peters, and Peters is flying to get right back out in front. And with Luke Peters gaining all this time and gaining all this speed with a newer set of tires, it could be doom for the man in that 00. It seems like the Ford is not letting up at all and getting closer and closer like it is nothing. Effort being put in, much less. He's got newer tires that can roll around right there for him. And while Jordan Kuntz has the distance to maybe make it last until the cycle is over, it will be dicey to make it happen next time by. As we saw, the number 4 machine of Luke Peters come through. He's now only 6/10 of a second away. Last time by, he ran a 33.144, and it was Jordan Kuntz who ran a 33.252. So distance is being shortened. Between the guys in the top 2, Alec Daffin fades back to 3rd, and the remainder of the field is going to go as follows. 4th going to be Eric Heater, then going to be 5th in Vinny Tigner. Rick Spencer Wall going to be in 6th, and then Carter Casey right there with him, going to be in 7th. Battle brewing, as it's going to be Kyle Jackson in 8th, and then Jordan Parker in 9th. Battle going to be forming, though, however, between these guys in 6th and 7th. Rick Spencer Wall has now a guy right there with him. That's going to be Kyle Jackson as they slip and slide. The 35 machine now looks to be out of this race, but 35 laps to go. It's going to be number 1 machine taking the place of 6th. Of course, that's what he wants to do. It might be executed upon this time around. And right now, it looks like Carter Casey giving that number 97 a run for his money. While damaged, Spencer Walt holds on to that position. And take a close-up look, you can see some front end damage. But on the rear end is where it is most noticeable. Lap 134 laps to go now. You can see that Harley Davidson machine has an awful lot of rear end pounding in. And it was all because of the entry to pit road he had most recently. Got it all banged up on the side, able to save it, but not without damage. And now not without Carter Casey passing him as Casey goes to position number 6. If he can just get the exit. And now it looks like he does not have that exit. Now Rick Spencer Walt takes that position right back. Gives him a taste of it, but that's all he's going to give for now. It's going to be all about not giving up for Carter Casey as they say side by side, counter to strike. And at the stripe this time by going to be Carter Casey there with Rick Spencer Walt. 33 laps left in this show. These guys are battling side by side like it's the last lap here. And right now they're the closest 2 drivers in the field. However, now Luke Peters only 0.3 of a second away from the overall race lead. They could become the closest battle in just a few moments as the 1 machine going to have to concede for just a moment now unless he dives it in. That's what he's going to do. Not giving up at all. Rick Spencer Walt stays up high. The 97 right there just tries to keep himself in the barrier of this track. The barrier right in front, the Geico restart zone right there marked on it. You don't want to hit it. He's hit one wall already. He does not want to tap another. Gets way close up high, and he knows his best bet is that run he gets off the exit, even if it's a bit riskier than the strategy that most of the drivers have been taking. Side by side at the line they might be again. However, Carter Casey further and further finds himself behind on the back stretch. The front stretch is where it all comes back together. This time by, though, that will not be the case, and Casey back into position number 7 right now, though. Luke Peters with 31 laps to go, getting closer and closer. Does Jordan Kuntz decide to come down a pit road this time by? Not without losing the spot, unless he gets it back. It looks like Luke Peters, now on the inside line, has the momentum, and it could be enough off corner exit. Get a 0-0 up behind the 4 down low at the line. This time by, it will be 30 laps to go. Luke Peters leading that lap. And Kyle Jackson, first man in for the strategy this time by with 30 laps to go. He comes in, and it's going to be all about stretching his fuel cell here. As side by side, the leader still race. You can see that number 4 machine picks up the pace, gets right behind him, and he's going to go down just a bit, thinks better of it, then lunges in. He does not, and gives Jordan Kuntz an opportunity to come down pit road if he so takes it. It looks like that time by, he does not. But with 30 laps to go, he'll have to come down sooner than later. No driver can make it on the stint they are in right now. They'll have to get one more set of Goodyear rubber and a bit of more fuel to top it all off and get themselves out on the track once again. The 0-0 holds himself high. The number 4 right there with him, though. Alec Davin, 0.8 of a second off. Not even close right now. Waiting to see what will happen. Carter Casey comes down a pit road this time by 7th position coming in. Kyle Jackson going to be there in the 8th spot as is. And Rick Spencer Walt going to be in 6th. The last man out on the track with an older set of Goodyear rubber. At the line, 28 laps to go it is, and right now it seems like the driver in that number 0-0 still holds on to the race lead, and it seems like Fisher Stewart said that Kyle said he passing him was the most excitement he had all race long. Well, how about that? Lap drivers spicing it up with the remainder of the field, and Fisher Stewart number 65 gets it dicey with 96 as the dicey up. Leading battle goes at it once again. They're dicing it closer and closer to the number 4. Now has to go up high once again as the 0-0 goes down low in the same vein every time. And the Luke Peters machine has a shot. It looks like the 0-0 takes it right away, dodging bullets time after time. Daffin comes down to pit road this time through, and so did Tigner and Rick Spencer Walt. Jordan Kuntz going to be back at it once again off the Brent backstretch. Peters has it down on the inside. timeless maneuver, but timelessly, the 00 gets him right back. He gets that power on the exit, goes way up wide, makes sure the 4 machine cannot do the same thing, and just stays in the lead off of that maneuver alone. It's executed marvelously time after time, with 26 laps to go this time around. That 00 knows that maneuver could keep him up in front until his pit stop. 32 to go, he'll be clear to go the rest of the way on whatever cycle he ends up on. And right now, risking it to stay on the strategy of that number 4. Now he goes down low this time by, tries to dodge it on the inside. Is it enough? It looks like that time by, it is. The 4 washes it up way up high, loses some time, but it's going to be a big entry as both drivers go to pit road this time by. This will be crucial as the 00 comes right in with Luke Peters there as well. Kuntz gets it a bit squirrely into entry, but he stays on the track, stays out of the grass, and this could be the battle for the win on pit road here and now. Get a 00 coming in, and it's going to be Luke Peters coming in as well. They'll be right within each other's distance. It's in vicinity for both drivers. 00 going to be in front on this stall. Luke Peters right behind him. It's going to be Goodyear rubber and some tires. Average pit stop's been about 38 seconds long. Fastest on this stint was a 37.4 for Rick Spencer Walls. They come out at the same time. Going to Jordan Kuntz maintaining that advantage, and that could be all she wrote. The 00 out in front over Luke Peters, and they'll have to go once again. Jordan Kuntz had the second fastest pit stop all race long. It's going to be a 37.6 for him. Alec Daffin had a 38 flat, and he'll be out in front of both of them, as Eric Heater now going to be on lap, or rather, it'll be Alec Daffin unlapping himself on Eric Heater. Daffin leads from Kuntz and Peters. And it's getting dicey now. 1.8 seconds separate these two up in front. Daffin now has the strategy to beat. He's out in front. Eric Heath comes down and in. And it's going to be Alec down with 23 laps to go this time around. Eric comes in on pit road, but it's going to be the 48, the new leader on the lead lap. And with Eric Heater down on pit road, the experiment is over. Every driver will be on the final set of tire that they'll need for the remainder of this race. Alec Daffin coming out of the line this time through will be there up in front with 23 laps to go. And now Eric Heater gets on his way. The 28 machine back on the move off pit exit, but it's no use as Alec Daffin out in front by a country mile over the 28, but only 1.4 seconds over Jordan Kuntz, and then only 1.6 Luke Peters. So now time running out with 23 laps to go. We'll go to 22 laps to go, and you always know what that means. Live on FTN, let's crank it up here on FTN. The best cameras on iRacing, trackcams22.com. Track cams for Gormans, the best cameras on iRacing. We hope you enjoy watching them as much as we enjoy using them. Let's get right in with the best cameras on the service. Let's crank it up with 22 laps to go, courtesy of Track Cams for Gormans. 18 laps to go here in Chicagoland, and time is running out to get the checkered flag. Jordan Kuntz going to be out in front in that 0-0 machine. Alec Davlin going to be in second right now. It's only 18 laps to go, but 0-0 is back out in front. And now time running out for Alec, as it seems like he is fading and fading fast. Right now, going to be in the draft, though. It could be enough to keep him up in second, but we are not quite sure what that number 48 can do, as he does have older tires than that of Jordan Kuntz and of Luke Peters. Peters now in the newer same set of that 0-0 machine. It seems like Jordan Kuntz running that final run out as far as he could. The penultimate run, it was all she wrote for number 4, and all that 0-0 needed to get to the lead of this race. The dicey strategy for the Luke Peters machine, it paid off for quite a while. It seems like when Jordan Kuntz matched it and then some, it was over for any shot at the victory for anyone but the 0-0. And as we mentioned before, one of the fastest men on the trucks in NASCAR. Kuntz, for proximity racing, always a contender whenever you see these trucks in play. And right now, Kyle Jackson slowing up just a bit, as he's going to let Eric Heater go, it appears. That number 28 for Alpha Tauri coming closer and closer to contact with that 96 as he blinks out in frame. Once again, gets by Jackson, and now Jackson losing time and a big. I'm not quite sure why. It looks like damage is accumulating on the right side, and it's a bit more damage than what we last saw. The motor might have a bit of a problem here, losing 10th after 10th, going up high. This time by, it could be perhaps another retiree with some engine trouble. Look on board, he's still driving it. Don't see anything that indicates anything's wrong in specific. Certainly, power is down inside that number 96. Now with 15 laps to go this time around, make it 14. Alec Davin fades back a half second. Luke Peters still there in third, and it's going to be Eric Heater there in fourth right now. It's going to be Tigner in fifth, Carter Casey there in sixth, Jackson going to be eighth, and the next man is going to be, well, Jordan Parker in position number 9. A bit of hesitation off my tongue there, but you can see Jordan Parker, despite a bit of hesitation on aggression, he's been able to put together a solid night, and it looks to be set for his first top 10 in this league. With only a total of 14 laps to go, he's got only a few more laps to settle it, and right now it appears like he's still going strong. Take a look with that number 65 machine. You can see Jordan Parker not only in the digital realm, but as we said, in the physical realm. The webcam courtesy of Fisher Studios, and as you can see, it is all about the patience here, driving on top of that steering wheel, quite literally making his movements as he can on the oldest pit cycle than any driver in the field. Parker might be due to come down pit road once again. We don't know quite yet if he's going to do that this time by. It looks like he does not, but I'm certain they will have to sometime soon if he wants to keep on going. On board the man in the 9th position, the best run he's had all season long, due for his first top 10 in competition, and that is great to see. Take a look back on board with the man in that number 0-0 machine, this time off the rear end in the digital realm. Alec Davin fighting big with Luke Peters, and this is everything that a leader wants to see. Side by side, it could be between the 4 and the 48, and they're not getting dicey just yet, but Peters has gained an awful lot of time, gained over a second's worth on Alec Davin, and it could be the final few tenths that mean all the difference. As we say most frequently on this channel, it's one thing to catch someone, another thing to pass someone. So right now, that number 48 machine, who knows that well, will have to defend for his life. But right now, Peters gets out of the inside line, and that could be it, just like that. Luke has the edge in momentum, and down a low line for the high point sponsor number 4. It looks like that could be all she wrote, and there you have it. New man in second, it's Luke Peters. And with 10 laps to go here in Chicagoland, it still is a battle for second. Alec Davin tries to hold his head up high and keep the truck high for momentum. But right now, it does not appear to be enough, or is it? As they come down the Brent backstretch, once again, dead even right now, nose to nose, side by side. It's going to be door to door. No banging on the doors just yet, though. And Peters with a bit of an advantage still has Alec Davin right there aside. He is, and it could be a thorn in his side as they come down to the stripe this time through. He is not done yet. Make it 9 laps to go, battling for second, and Jordan Parker comes in for his final pit stop of the night. Davin goes up high, gets to the wall just a bit, but he's going to have a bit of momentum once again to carry him right back into the race. And as you can see, now Daffin goes down low. It seems like Luke Peters might have burnt up his stuff just a bit, trying to get into the battle, and did not have enough to be prepared to go through the battle itself. Third spot going to be Alec Daffin for now, but down to the apron they both go, and it's going to be a clear down to the apron for that number 4 machine. Right on board with Alec Daffin here and see what he can do to try to stay in contention. This time around, Alec Daffin gets the low line to himself, and now you need it to wash up high, get the speed, and maybe get the draft. He does have it now. He has clean air as well. Can he use both of them to his advantage? It looked like he does not have the shot, and now Luke Peters has the second spot to himself. With a total of 7 laps to go, it will be the 00 who leads them once again. 7 laps remaining here in the B3 Designs 200, and it has been all about endurance and attrition. My apologies there. 1 caution all night long, and the 00 out in front for the good majority of this race. The league has only had 2 cautions since Watkins Glen began, and it's been all about the clean long racing in this series. Every driver here knows it. You want to be ready for the long haul, and we've gone almost 200 miles under green no matter what. Some drivers have blown up engines, some drivers have come down pit road, but it has not stopped the leading men, especially not stopping Jordan Kuntz. That 00 machine holds on strong. He has kept himself exactly where he needs to be, and all of this culminates in perhaps the best race he's ran in quite a while. Perfect pit strategy kept Luke Peters honest all throughout, and now as he comes around 0.8 of a second back on your leading man, might be quicker, but might not be quick enough. As they come down on the inside line into the stripe once more, 4 laps to go. It's going to be next time by 5 laps here. Kuntz ran 32, actually a 33.206 compared to Luke Peters running a 33.0, so now faster by 0.2 a second per lap. He's only 0.7 of a second back. It could be enough at that pace. However, we'll see if it's sustainable as Kyle Jackson comes down to pit road this time by. He's in the grass, he's spinning, and there's big trouble for Kyle Jackson as it looks like he's spinning in the grass on his own. Not sure what the intention is here, but he is going to try to get himself back going. That number 96 in trouble big with 4 laps to go. Let's find out what just caused it. As it seems like on his own, he went down to the inside line and he got spinning. And we'll find out what was the intention behind that one. And hopefully that was not anything intentional as he comes down to the inside line. Does try to make it a pit road perhaps. It looks like he does. And misses it big. And he just begins to spin it right then and there. He's going to get back on his way. Going to be big trouble nonetheless. 2 laps down as is. And Kyle Jackson, a night that's gone from bad to worse, is going to be in 8th still. But no chance of getting back up any position. 16, 17 seconds lost on this lap alone, as we have now a total of 3 laps to go here in the B3 Designs 200. And Jackson will come down to pit road, not that time by, but he lost a lot of time there, and I think that's going to end his race prematurely when it comes to any shot at any position. That time by Jackson loses all the time he had on any driver. Now going to be second to last on the track. Luke Peters falls down to the 3rd though, and now going to be in big trouble. Falls back major. Let's find out just what happened here. And it seems like something big indeed. You can see Peters went way up wide on the 1st and 2nd turns with 3 to go. And that's indeed what happened. Brushes the wall, and that will be all she wrote. As Jackson gonna ride the wall now, and he's in all sorts of trouble. That 96 machine is in. Not sure what the call is here, as Kyle gonna get passed again by the 65 of Jordan Parker. And now Kyle Jackson, more and more with the stripes going by. Gonna be the white flag next time by. Jordan Kuntz leads the way with 2 laps to go, and he'll come to the start-finish line to get his 1 final lap, and the race will be official. 1 lap to go here in the B3 Designs 200, and what a race it has been. Right now, no battle on the circuit. Every driver locking in and locking down for their final lap, but Jordan Kuntz locked it down on the final pit strategy run. The penultimate run, he battled Luke Peters toe-to-toe, and that's what gifted him a shot at the win with nobody in sight. Coming across turn number 4 this time by the of course, marquee event in Joliet comes to its conclusion here and now. It's going to be Jordan Kuntz winning the B3 Designs 200 from Chicagoland Speedway in dramatic fashion. He burns it down drifting after the start-finish line. What a race and what a drive for Jordan Kuntz, back in dominating form here in the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series. What a win For Jordan Kuntz, what a way to win it as well. He put it all on the line and got it done with a perfect strategy at the tail end of the night. An impressive job in and out. And the number 00 comes out victorious over Alec Daffin, a second back in second, and Luke Peters there in third, the final man on the podium. Then 3 seconds back, Eric Keeter in fourth, Vinny Tigner fifth, 12 seconds off, with Carter Casey in sixth, 18 seconds off, with Rick Spencer in seventh, 21 seconds back on your leader. Then it's going to be Kyle Jackson 2 laps down, and Jordan Parker 9 laps down, actually going to be 6 laps down in ninth. The retirees go as follows. Michael Deitch going to be in 10th. Bryce Saucier in 11th. Brian Russo there in 12th. Ryan Wilson in 13th on debut. Michael Rosario, your pole sitter, in 14th. And Davis Lewis in 15th with Dylan Butler 16th. And Zach McBride in 16th. And a man on the top of the board getting ready to burn it down here and now. And you'll get the access to it uninterrupted live on FTN as you watch the 00 of Jordan Kuntz burn down the house. And it looks like the burnout is over for the Jordan Kuntz machine and the 00. And there you have it. Celebration after a hard-fought victory, and all night long, the 00 kept everyone on their toes. And the strategy all comes down to one more victory. And checkered flag taken by the number 00 once again. Jordan Kuntz wins in Chicagoland, the B3 Designs 200. How do you feel after this one?
I feel great. That was a really hard earned victory. Had to do a lot of defensive driving and a lot of strategy and tactics to win that one. I was wanting to always pit later than everyone else, but earlier than the person in front of me. So it's a hard balancing game, but it worked out in the end.
And a balancing act, it seems to work out in your favor. The 00 gets it done. And how about the tire strategy? It seems like that was the most important factor for the entirety of this race. Only one caution all night long. What kept you out in front?
I think it was a lot of hard defensive driving. I knew clean air was very important from the start. I was pushing very early on in the race to get clean air. And whenever I didn't, I used strategy to get clean air and just defended like a lion from there on out.
An absolute defense like a lion, and there you have it, back out in front. And how was it managing the long runs on your own despite other people perhaps influencing the strategy?
It was very hard. The tires were very important, but you could defend someone if you had the outside line, and I used that to my advantage, and it worked out in the end.
And it all ends up working out for the driver in that number 00, Jordan Kuntz, the top dog at the end of the day. And the next race on the schedule is going to be, how about this Michigan for 100 laps? How do you feel going into that one?
I feel very confident. I really like Michigan as a track, and it definitely plays into my styles of driving. And I'm going to go for 3 in a row.
And going for 3-peat in the 00, the Jordan Kuntz machine, dominant as of recent. And there you have it, back on the top of the board. Jordan, anything you'd like to add and any final thoughts?
I'd like to thank everyone at Proximity Racing for all the help they do, help me improve, and for Road to Pro. And of course, you for broadcasting these races and the Road to Pro Round 2. It's really nice to be able to watch back all the broadcasts and see what happened, where I went wrong, or what I did right.
And there we have it, Jordan Kuntz going all right today. The 00 machine wins in the B3 Designs 200 here in Chicagoland. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Kuntz going to be on his way, and Alec Daffin coming home with a great battle at the end, able to come home in the second spot. And how was it defending like a lion there at the end? And eventually, it all came back to you there in second.
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on doing that, but I figured I had nothing to lose. I was just screw around and have some fun there. Maybe somebody haul him off, and in the end, turned out to not work out. But maybe Luke burned off his tires a little bit, caused him to hit the wall. I don't know. But Yeah, he was ripping the high line there last couple laps, and just caught up to him. But definitely had a third, fourth place truck at best, but we got P2 of it, just hung in there.
And able to make the best of the night here in Chicagoland. A long race all night long. Only one yellow at the very early portion of this one. So how was it managing your truck throughout the entirety of the green flag section?
Pit strategy was definitely name of the game. I wasn't really sure how to go about it, so I just pit whenever on the first run, then decided to split in half towards the end there, the last two pit stops. That worked out. And tire management was also important because they only got to start, then we go full throttle. Then, like, by the time we got like 15 laps in, we were basically on the brakes on the corner entry. It was crazy. I mean, I haven't had a setup this tight at this track since like 2019 on the V6 tire mall. So, yeah, tire management is definitely key, and I didn't really do a great job of that tonight. I tried, but it's definitely could have done better. And like Jordan and Luke and all them had me one up on that.
And despite being, in your words, not managing it as well as you wanted to, you still came home here in second. So a great takeaway there. Next race on the schedule going to be Michigan, a much quicker track. How's it going to be at the 2-mile Northeastern Circuit after a run here in Joliet?
I hate that place and they burned down. But you know what? It's the next track, so we'll go try and have some fun there. We got Rick there last season, but we've had some success there over the years. So we'll just try and go hang in there. Hopefully get some longer runs, and tire management will come into play because I feel like my tire management is decent at that track. So we'll see if it plays in our hands and get another good finish, hopefully.
And there we have it, looking to get another solid finish. And number 48 is now Alec Daffin. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Thank you for the broadcast. Thanks, Cameron, for putting on the league, and Shaw Racing Frogs. Let's see who else. I guess thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Very small field, but still a little better than we've had lately, so it's definitely on the upswing. Thanks for Twitch viewers at Alec Daffin 48, and yeah.
And there we have it, Alec Daffin on his way in that number 48 machine. How about that for Shaw Racing Products? Second place here in the B3 Designs 200. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
And there we have it, Alec going to be on his way, and Luke is going to be in third on the board tonight. And number 4 machine, a rocket ship all night long, but it seems like Jordan Coots kept him honest on the penultimate run, and that's where things changed. How was it all night long here in Chicagoland?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Pretty fast. I think I was the fastest in the first stint. Or not the first stint, but after we had the lap 15 caution, was able to gain quite a few spots on pit road, and then on the restart, and then I was able to get up to Michael. And then I tried to stay out a couple laps later than everyone else, or at least Jordan, for most of the pit stops. And on the last one, I decided to pit on the same lap as him. I think if I would have stayed out maybe 2 or 3 laps longer, I could have had enough at the end to catch him. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, able to catch up to the third spot here, and a lot of ups and downs on tire strategy for every driver. Yourself, so how do you keep yourself up in the podium all night long?
Yeah, my truck felt pretty good. Just trying to keep it consistent and not hit the wall, which I hit the wall at the end there, but I think Jordan already had it, but fell back to third, but it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, overall, still a good race.
And still a good race indeed. Now, next race on the schedule going to be in Michigan International Speedway for 100 laps. Do we expect to see you there?
Yeah. I feel pretty good about Michigan in the trucks. I think it'll be kind of similar to this race. Tire strategy and making sure you don't burn up your tires too much, and yeah, being there at the end.
And looking to be there at the end, Luke Peters here all night long in third. Rounds out the podium in the B3 Designs 200. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Hey, I'd like to thank you for broadcasting and everyone else for showing up, making a good race.
And there we have it, Luke Peters on the way. A great race in his own right. Third position on the board. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And there we have it. Peters going to be on his way, position number 3. And the man who comes out on the top of the board, it will be Jordan Coots, winner here in Chicagoland. And how about that? Got to thank y'all for watching live on FTN. We'll be back tomorrow with the Highline Racing League Texaco Truck Series rewind of Homestead, and then the Integrity Racing League on Monday and Tuesday. A great win for Jordan Coots and a great presentation here of the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck series. This has been a broadcast of the B3 Designs 200 live on FTN. We thank you all for watching. Hope to see you whenever live on FTN once again, and we hope you all have a great night. Thank you once more for your time, your viewership of the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel.